e-commerce in so many categories just keeps increasing. And this is the beautiful thing about learning e-commerce, is that you can just adapt because it's digital. You don't have a physical location. You don't have physical product. You can like just realize, okay, now people are buying home gym equipment. Now people are buying more home decor, more pet supplies, more this, and that you can just adapt to that and sell what people are already buying. This is why I could have never gone into like brick and mortar when I saw internet marketing, because I just realized like I can't be very adaptable in that space unless you're like one of these huge giants. But look what's happening. I just feel so bad for so many businesses right now being called like non-essential. That's like the meanest fucking thing. Can you imagine? It's like, you're not essential. But then you keep like alcohol stores open and McDonald's and all this other stuff. And you're like, what the fuck? It's like, how's that essential? But this is just how it works. We have to be ready. Like, I love how you've really mastered the Amazon thing, because this isn't going away. Amazon's only gone bigger from this. And it's actually because everything's all the small businesses are being destroyed. So you guys just increase your sales. It's fucked up. A lot of people will watch this and be like, this is so fucked up. It's like very cold, and it's just truth. I don't like it. I don't necessarily like all small businesses shutting down. I don't like, why would I want that? But it's the truth of what's happening. I think a lot of it's bullshit, to be honest. But at the same time, I'm not going to sit there and not adapt. I'm not going to sit there and cry about it. I'm going to figure out what to do about it.
Yeah. And it's just having an internet business is it's so lightweight, it's so adaptable, it's so agile.
That's it.
It's so it's so low inertia, you could say, to put it into a scientific term.
I want you, because like I've advised a little bit with you on like branding and stuff over the years, but overall, you know so much about Amazon. You've taught me so much about this business model. I've seen so many of your success stories. And I want you to tell me more, because you've been releasing this course. And I want to just understand more about what you're doing with this 90-day challenge, helping people transition. Because at the end of the day, we're going through what's called like the Great Adaptation right now, not the Great Depression. Like everyone has to adapt now. But you don't have 3, 4, 5 years if you just lost your job. You got to start to learn this stuff now and go hard with it. You don't just like kind of dabble a little bit. You got to go all in. So because of your success over the years, doing so many different products, learning so much about Amazon, tell me about what this is, like this 90-day challenge you're doing. Because I want my community and just people to be able to understand like what they have access to right now if they choose to actually dive down this path, which it's no longer a want, it's a need, right? We have to do it now. I think when I was in Bali, most of last year, I think I was like redoing in the process of redoing my Amazon course, which I came out with in 20. After I started getting into Amazon, going full time, traveling out here in Southeast Asia, and through my travel vlog, I would get so many questions about how are you traveling full time? What is this? How are you doing this? So I get so many Amazon questions. After a year and a half, I was like, all right, people want to pay me to learn Amazon. So it's just a no-brainer to make your course. So made the full Amazon private label course in 2016. And then did a minor update in 2018. And then in 2020, I was planning on, boom, 2020, complete refresh, complete new course. Like been working on it, last year, Q4, before we knew about Corona. And then Corona hits, and it's like, oh shit. Now everyone, it's not just it would be nice to have a second income or to be able to work from anywhere or to, have your own independent business. Now it's like, oh shit, we need to do this now. And on top of that, everyone has more time on their hands. Everyone's, working from home. So basically I was like, all right, but it actually wasn't my idea for the 90-day challenge. People have done this before. There's a big one going around Facebook, like this 30-day coding challenge. Like, there's been codathons, hackathons, all these type of like fast track challenges. ClickFunnels does their 30-day funnel hacking challenge or whatever the heck it is. So a big chunk of people that follow me is for the Amazon.
It's because they're looking into doing FBA. They want to have this type of independent income. And so I'm like, all right, how do I come up with the, best idea to help everyone, like, just start now, like have an excuse to do it now. Because my life was affected positively because of the excuse to come out to Thailand because of the conference. So one of my keys I always talk about is you got to have an excuse to do these to jump into these, to make changes. You got to have an excuse, whether it's like your girlfriend or boyfriend cheating on you, like that's the straw that breaks the camel's back, like some excuse, or get fired from your job. Okay, now I can make that change. That came to my idea. Let's do a 90-day FBA challenge where it's like everything, my whole course, I've been working on compressing it into a 90-day calendar. So it's like, it's going to be a group, everyone gets in, and then it's a 90-day challenge. You start going from product research, choosing your product, to sourcing it, to launching it, 90 days as fast as possible to do it now. While, Amazon numbers are still like up here right now. In the coming months, they're going to go a little bit. They're not going to be like crazy like they are when everyone is still home, or everyone is at home. People are going to go back to work. But even in the coming years, for the past 10 years, it's been going like this. But right now, it just took like a little bit step up. So this is for all of my followers who've been like, they just follow me. A lot of guys are like, man, I've been following you for years. People who have already joined the challenge, they're like, I've been following you for years. Like, it's finally time. I've been following you for years. Okay, it's finally now. So I tried to create some excuse. Like, guys, it's going to have a start date. You have to get it now. If you want to lock arms, it's going to be a mastermind. It's going to be weekly calls, weekly coaching, like I've been seeing you doing in person when I was living with you. You're doing these calls. And I'm like, this is so cool. Like, I gotta start doing that, because that's like, if I'm not doing this coaching calls thing, it's just leaving your value on the table. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I'm like, So everything just came together. All right, this is the perfect time, perfect plan. Let's do this Amazon accelerator mastermind thing, and let's do it now. So it's starting May 1st, and we're doing it.
Hell yeah, man. And you know what they say? It's like, the pain of remaining the same has to be greater than the pain of change for us to change. So when I was getting into the internet, my pain of like having to like do a 9-to-5 was like so much that I had to learn how to do this. My pain of not traveling was so much that I had to do this. I was at a little bit different of a level where I was just like, I just needed to not live that life. However, now we're in a whole different trajectory where it's like the pain of not having an opportunity to have a job is there. The pain of like, what is going to happen in the future if you don't start to learn this is way more. So like you said, there's a lot of people who are on the fence for a long time knowing they probably should learn it, but now it's like, you have to actually learn this. There is no, there's no way around it anymore. You got to actually learn how this internet stuff works, or you're going to be in big trouble. But I'm glad that you put together a 90-day challenge, because it keeps somebody actually committed throughout that time. Because one thing you don't want to do is try like 9 different things online for the next 90 days. You want to pick one thing. So if you're already planning on picking Amazon as that thing, then do a challenge. Be all in with it. Yeah,
exactly. And that's the whole other thing I forgot to mention is like with online courses, in general, anyone that, I think the stats are like, basically most people don't finish an online course when they buy it. And so that's one of the huge things, is why you have your mastermind, why so many entrepreneurs are doing the mastermind tribe thing now. It's more of a real virtual online weekly classroom than just a regular course where you just watch it on your own time. And so I've been taking notes from you and just all the guys who are crushing it right now in the forefront of education. It's all about the mastermind. It's all about having that accountability set up where you match people like accountability partners, where there's weekly homework assignments. Like I see you and Henri talking about, your guys' program, weekly assignments. You homework, having homework. And so structuring it like a real college class, but obviously virtual. So I've just been taking notes, and
And
yeah, this is the future of education. So
yeah, the future of education is self-education, meaning you pave your own path, you find your own mentors, and you don't just learn through the mainstream narrative. You see the actual data and stats, and you go find out people who are paving their path within this now, not how it used to be. And it's so sad, man, when I watch some people still following the old way, and I'm just like, it's like you're walking towards the edge of a cliff, and you can see it, and I'm just like, no, turn around, go this way. But reality is created by validation. So the more people all believe the same thing, the more it becomes a truth in their mind. And then the outliers right now are the ones who are going to completely take advantage of this opportunity. And some people will say, what does take advantage mean? It just means see the opportunity that's there, the truth of the reality. Not what everyone believes is the reality, but the actual truth, the real data. And then making their decisions based off of that. And obviously Amazon is growing like crazy. Obviously e-commerce is growing like crazy. It's not going to stop. People who are just going to stay in that old way and not see how AI and how things are going so exponentially are going to be in big trouble. And I'm not saying this to scare people. I'm saying it to warn people of the truth. This is where it's going. It's not changing. It's not going back to how it was. It's not like we're out all of a sudden going to give jobs that AI takes over back to humans. It's AI works 24/7, 7 days, it's just constantly working without complaining for a lot cheaper. So of course that's not going to come back. So we have to ask ourselves, okay, well, what can we do now? How can we learn this as fast as possible? You can't sit there and read 200, 300, 400 self-development books and then be like, okay, I'm better. It's you have to learn and take actionable steps right now.
Yeah, learning by doing is the best way. It's like I always try to remind people this, with an Amazon business or starting any online business. People have said that starting their own online business, they've learned more in that journey than their entire business school degree.
Yeah.
And I think the stats
100%.
were I saw this recently, it was only 3% of students in business school start a business while they're in college. And it's you can learn way more than doing. It's the same thing with sports. You learn by this muscle memory. You learn by doing. I think that's true for pretty much everyone. And so I try to remind people, when you start your own online business, Amazon business included, you're going to learn. It's basically a business school in a box. Like I say, it's if you start your own Amazon store or whatever online business, you're going to learn all the elements of a business school compacted into a 6-month project. And then when you come to the end of it, you're potentially going to be positive cash flow, not obviously in debt, which is a whole nother topic. But you're going to learn market research. You're going to learn copywriting. You're going to learn branding. You're going to learn profit and loss, figuring out your margins and figuring out your pricing and figuring out, accounting, calculating all the expenses. You're going to learn the Amazon platform, or whatever platform it is. Amazon's the second biggest search engine in the world. Or you're going to learn Google or YouTube, the platform. You're going to learn SEO. You're going to learn all about keywords and search volume and SEO, which is, hello, SEO should be taught in fucking kindergarten now. Everything is keywords now. It's so crazy how consumers are led to products now. You literally type in a keyword and that leads you to a page. It's crazy when you think about it. It's crazy. And even depending on how you phrase it, you could phrase it a little bit different and there'd be some different results. But it's all, you got to learn SEO and keywords now. You're going to learn your negotiations, talking with your supplier, your basic communication skills, which is a huge chunk of life, is just communication skills. There's infinite books on that. You're going to learn You're going to learn, what else? You're going to learn marketing, obviously. You're going to learn promoting. You're going to learn graphic design. You got to come up with the images. You got to figure out, all right, how can I tell the story of this product in a box that makes the most sense? And, oh, I get 7 images. Oh, how am I going to tell a story in a logical way that helps the customer understand the product and the journey of using it based on what's most important to most people, and so on. You're going to learn customer service. You know, you're going to learn to listen to the feedback and say, okay, how can we listen to what they're saying to make alterations to our copy or to our actual physical product or to our offer, how we frame things. It's just fucking digital marketing. I mean, Jesus, like, it's all tied in with good communication, which is, you know, 80% of life is just good communication.
Man.
And
Well,
then
it's like,
on top of
you know,
SEO and graphic design, which is everything.
think about it this way, Riley. You used to do door-to-door sales for a long time, right? It's like,
Yeah.
I always like, when I try to give analogies for the internet, it's like, I call it, especially if you're doing like course sales, or it doesn't actually matter, but I call it like Android earning. It's like, let's say that sales pitch works doing door-to-door sales, and then you take that same pitch and then you multiply yourself digitally times 1,000. Well, you can do that same door-to-door sales every second and as many times as you want. And as soon as you find out what's converting, then you can scale it up. And as soon as people can understand that concept is what we're living in, that you can take your message and instantly get it in front of thousands of people. Like in my last e-commerce, we had a video that did 8 million views with Facebook ads because it was converting. So we
Scale the fuck out of it.
or $4 out, right? So it's like you can continuously scale where you yourself can only do so much work. You only have so much time in the day. So Android earning is something that people have to wrap their heads around. As soon as you can learn these skills that you're talking about, you can now apply that to whatever business that you want. And that's the whole point of this too. A lot of people are thinking, I'm going to, you know, do this and then this is going to be my only thing forever. It's like, no, you're going to gain the skills and you can apply this to anything. These are true business skills that you can keep with you forever. And you need to learn this stuff moving forward. It's not a joke. Like, when I say this, this is not a, I'm selling you on learning internet so you can get freedom. It's like, no, I'm making sure that you learn this because this is the new way. Like, you're not going to be able to avoid it. So the sooner you learn it, the better.
Yeah.
So tell me a little bit more, man. Tell me a little bit more about like who can do a product like this. Who can join Amazon?
Yeah.
Anybody, even someone who's never really learned tech stuff, because I'm still like a tech idiot, to be honest. Who are the type of people that can join a program like this?
Well, I will say that my mom makes between $1,000 and $2,000 a month on Amazon. And I was actually just going to say before you asked that question, I was saying that reminds me of, I always tell my mom that you need to learn your iPhone or you're going to have a tough time moving into the future. Like, I try to tell my mom, like, she's reluctant to like learn the details of technology. I'm like, if you don't, I'm not saying like, just because like I'm annoyed you don't know how to fucking send a link or something. I'm saying like it's for your own. You're gonna have a tough time moving into the future because it's accelerating. You're gonna have no choice. Everything is going digital. Anyway, so my mom makes between $1,000 and $2,000 a month completely passively. She does basically nothing by her little product idea that I helped her put on Amazon, create through a supplier on Alibaba, made it custom, and launched on Amazon. So yeah, basically complete newbie. You don't need any, if you can build a Facebook page, you can build a freaking Amazon store. Everything is so user friendly. If you can run an Instagram page, it's so very easy. All it is basically the business model in a nutshell. It's becoming an Amazon opportunist. So it's doing research on Amazon, finding out what's trending, using these scouting software tools that scrape the data on Amazon and says how much search volume is coming for each keyword and all related keywords around it, and the sales volume for every listing on Amazon. There's these tools. It's called Jungle Scout. And basically you do that. You spend about 4 weeks doing market research. So you're crunching numbers. I have a whole spreadsheet How many competitors have over 1,000 reviews? All right. How many listings for this niche within a niche keyword I always talk about? That's where the money's at. You're finding these micro niches on Amazon, and you're trying to create a product for that niche that's different than all the other ones on page one. And you're just going to stick your product right there on page one, which is relatively easy to rank for because you've done the keyword analysis. And you're just going to stick your product in there, you know, underneath the existing waterfall of traffic that's coming every day, you know, hundreds, thousands, sometimes tens of thousands of people every day to these little micro niche keywords. You're placing your product there, you're listing on Amazon. People are going to find it. You got better pictures than them. You got better, and hopefully you have a better product than them. They're going to click it. They come to your Amazon page. You got some sexy pictures. You got a great product. You're using all the basics in copy. You stick a video on there, which down the right above the reviews section, you can put as many little video clips as you want now, actually, nowadays on Amazon. And you're getting the reviews. You know, you do these free after rebate giveaways to get, you know, quick reviews on Amazon. And your listing just sits there. And every day, hundreds or thousands of people are going to put eyeballs on your product, and you know, the better it is, the more it's going to sell. But that's it. You just put your product there, and traffic comes every day. We don't do any outside marketing for our products. We're starting to, as kind of basically a separate channel, but traditionally we don't do any outside marketing. We just put our products on Amazon. The searches are already there, traffic's already there, and that's it. And how do you get your product made? You go to Alibaba.com, which connects you with suppliers all around the world, mainly China. Obviously, everything's made in China, including the phone everyone is holding. And you say, hey, and you look around Alibaba, you search for the type of product you're looking for. There's tons of models there. Some are already on Amazon, some are not on Amazon. And you do the market research and say, all right, what's a product that I can put on Amazon that's new? Or how can I take something that's on Amazon, have the supplier customize it, add some unique functional features, read the negative reviews, see what needs to be improved, take something on Amazon, improve it, make it better, put it on Amazon, and you're going to get a piece of that flood of millions of dollars going through Amazon every day. And once your listing is on Amazon, it's relatively very passive, obviously. All you got to do is reply to reviews, comment on, you know, reviews every other day, have a customer service person that answers questions that come to your email inbox. Yeah, so that's basically it. And then after you have one product, then you launch another one, then you launch another one. And on Amazon, you have your own kind of storefront. It's called Amazon.com/your brand name. And yeah, it's an Amazon store. Everyone's seen it. You click the brand name. Amazon has just nice new layouts for each individual brand. You know, it's your little home on Amazon, your little Amazon store. And yeah, you just launch product after product after product. And, you know, ideally, you know, some people choose, you know, a niche and stay within that niche, like whether it's, you know, yoga products or kitchen products or, you know, targeted towards one specific, you know, avatar. Or some people just have general stores. They just launch, you know, whatever's trending, and it's called, you know, E-Trend Cool Shop, and they just, you know, launch whatever. So there's
Pretty cool name, bro.
There's E-Trend Cool Shop. Yeah, that's actually a dope name. And there's different methods to do it, but yeah, it's like, you know, it's just digital marketing, you know, and it's just digital marketing in physical products. And Amazon just happens to be where 50% of things are bought online, and it's creeping towards 60% in America. And so it's just digital marketing, and Amazon is just, you know, one of the biggest, you know, platforms that people buy shit on. And so,
well,
yeah.
it's why Amazon became so big, because they allowed anybody to open up a store. It was freaking genius. Just create the system and the platform that anyone can come in and sell their products, and then allow them to compete with each other to outsell each other. And then it's just like you take a cut of everything. It's Jeff Bezos is a genius when it comes down to what he created.
Yeah.
And now it's like people are just so used to doing one click. And as it gets easier and easier, because we're getting to the point now where you can just like say, hey Siri, buy me this, you know? Once it gets to the point where it's like, it is that simple, which it is at some level, then who's about to leave their house and go to the brick and mortar store for the same product that they're going to get cheaper for Amazon that's probably going to start to arrive in 2 to 3 hours at some point? Like, right now is the time to get involved with this. It's not in 2 or 3 years because like, it's about to trend up so fast. It's unbelievable. And again, like when I'm talking about this stuff, I'm not saying this is a good or a bad thing. It just is what it is. And I need people to understand that. I'm not promoting like, I want the entire world to only use Amazon or to only use e-commerce. What I'm saying is that's where it's going. So it's our choice whether we want to be a part of that or we want to be a part of like the lag time effect where it's like you lose your jobs due to AI and due to e-commerce and then you have nothing to do. It's like, are you going to be prepared or not? One or the other.
Yeah, exactly. I try to remind people this like all the time. Like people say, oh, is it too late to sell on Amazon? Is FBA too late? I'm like, well, I mean, okay, zoom out for a second. All right, first of all, we live in the first generation in the history of humanity to use something called the internet. Think of our kids, our grandkids, and every generation infinitely into the future is never going to be able to say that they were the first generation that used the internet. This is us. We're talking in this now, right now. This is the craziest time in history. Amazon's really only been popping for 10 years. So think like a business person, folks. All your employers and your grandparents and your parents and everyone tells you to invest in your 401k and your retirement account. That's some good long-term thinking right there. Yeah. How about some long-term thinking about what's going on right now with the internet? Think 10 years from now, you're going to be kicking yourself wishing you didn't have a website, even if it's just for personal, professional purposes. You're going to be kicking yourself wishing you didn't have an Amazon store. Even if you grow it at a snail's pace, think 5-10 years from now, you could be raking in X thousand per month, even if you work on it 2 hours a week. You know, and same goes with like any, you know, online business side hustle. You know, think of your kids when they're, you know, teenagers, you know, 20 years from now. Amazon is in the coming few years, drone delivery. It's already being tested in Australia. Yeah. Everyone knows, everyone knows about one-click buying, and the Amazon app has been around. One-click or ordering through Alexa and say, I'll order this. And this is only going to go into, and this is just the beginning. Everyone knows about AI is coming, but everyone's like, yeah, AI is coming. No. People like Gavin and I, like, we get it because like we're really into this kind of like, you know, future wave and futurism stuff. But like some of the stuff is unimaginable. What things are going to be like, what AI is going to be like in 10 years, 20 years. Yeah. And so think 10, 20 years in the future. And a lot of entrepreneurs can do that, but I do understand human nature. For some people, it's hard to imagine that far in the future. That's why I like Vishen, the Mind Valley guy. He says, think 3 years in the future. Yeah. And so just think 3 years from now. I've been doing his morning 6-phase meditation. It's like, just think about 3 years from now, what you want your bank account to be, what you want your perfect day to be. So I'm just like, for anyone who asks, is Amazon too late? I'm like, your future self in 3 years, it's too late for. But for right now, it's 3 years right now. For your future self, it's 3 years in the past. You know what I'm saying? So it's like not even worth asking that question. Like,
no, it's not. Man, I like what you're saying a lot. It's very, very important. It's extremely important to see from that 3-year perspective. I like to look 6 months, 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, and then see like where the overlap is in all the different future scenarios. And no doubt that this is the beginning. And it's really hard for people to see that, right? Because it's been happening for, you know, since the internet started. But if you were to look at how fast things have grown, we're expected over the next like 6 years to experience more change as human beings than the last 100 in terms of like the increase in information technology, because it's exponential. It's almost unimaginable to know where things are going. However, it's very easy to project that they're going to continue changing in this direction, and they're not going to go back to times where we're like we're riding on horseback. That's not going to happen, right? We're only going to keep increasing in terms of technology, which means the internet is going to continue to keep being the place that people are going to be earning their income a lot more than before, and it's going to happen faster and faster and faster. That's why I'm happy that you're really sharing with people your last 5 years of experience on Amazon, because you've seen all the ups and downs and all the trends and the things that haven't happened. Because what you don't want to do right now is, if you're going to be learning Amazon, is learning through trial and error only, because you're going to miss out on all the learning people have gone through to get to where they're at. So can you share a couple of those lessons that you've gone through this past 5 years?
Yeah, well, like we were saying earlier, this is these type of masterminds, these challenges, these, you know, Zoom calls, these online virtual courses is the future of education. And obviously, you know, one thing you learn when you start any business, part of the entrepreneurial journey, is you work on one little project or product or whatever it is, and then it doesn't end up catching on and making money. Then you pivot to the next thing, and then you pivot to the next thing, and you pivot, and you just keep trying different things, and eventually one's going to hit. That's it. And so in my Amazon course since 2016, traditionally it hasn't been like the mastermind. It's just been kind of like the video course. And I noticed obviously that a lot of people don't even go through the course, and or they launch a product and it doesn't end up catching on, or they hit a road bump, and then they get deterred and they stop. And that's not the entrepreneurial journey. If you really want to be independent, be an entrepreneur, have your own business, ask any business owner, ask any billionaire, ask any millionaire. You know, you start with one thing and it's a failure. You know, Bill Gates's first thing was like, I forget the name of it, but some other software product that was just like, no, complete, did not make any money. And with everyone, this is the journey. And so basically, you know this, it's with your mastermind. It's like, you gotta just have a group of friends or a family to be on that journey with you, so you don't feel like alone. And so you have this like accountability group, and there's some social, you know, some social accountability, some social tracks, some social, you know, punishments and rewards. And like, that's basically it. You just got to lock arms, and like, it just becomes much easier if you're doing it with the group. You know, some people prefer to do it themselves. That's totally cool. But yeah, that's basically what I've learned over the years. And you know, I've just by accident become the guy that an Amazon expert, because I happen to have a travel vlog. And then like, it just pivoted into, okay, now people are asking me more actually about Amazon, because that's the first step, living that life. You know, my channel, my brand, it's like, yeah, but the first step is you got to have an online business. And that's been my whole theme. That's why we're talking about this internet thing. I say, I like to joke, but serious, is having your own online income or passive income is the first step to enlightenment. Because just getting your time back, not having to go to a job, is the first step to enlightenment, because it frees your brain. You're not like in a rush every morning. Oh man, that goes like, you can do a slow morning routine, and more like, I love having my slow morning routine, and I'm sure you do. And I also love having no fucking routine. You know, some days I just like, I just like do whatever the fuck I feel like, you know, for better or for worse. But it's the first step to enlightenment, because it gets your time back and your brain space back and your ability to control your own schedule. And it's also the first step towards your dream job. You know, someone was actually a kid he's coming up into summer break in college. He's joining the 90-day FBA challenge. He's actually a friend of a friend. And I was explaining the big picture of the entrepreneurial journey. It's like, yeah, like creating your Amazon store, your little online, your business, your digital passive income. That's just the first step to take care of your income, so you can focus more of your time on doing what you love to do, doing what you'd rather be doing. And this is the whole premise behind the 4-hour work week, which is mostly a figure of speech, which means get to a point, use the internet and AI and automation, create an online business basically to take care of your income where it's coming in automatically. So you only have to spend 4 hours a week doing things that you'd rather not be doing, like the accounting or answering customer service emails or whatever. So you're able to spend most of your time working on projects that you would be doing anyway if money were not an issue, like doing a podcast, like writing a book, like running your YouTube channel about making beats, or, you know, painting, or doing travel vlogs, or, you know, all these type of things that like you love doing. And, you know, big picture, let's step back for a sec. What's the purpose of life? It's to, you know, obviously be happy. And what makes us happy, the things that excite us, doing what you love. You know, it's cliche, but true. If you do what you love, you're never going to work a day in your life. So that's the big picture. But what I'm saying is in order to do what you love, you need to first get away from your 9-to-5 job. You know, obviously you need to first quit your job and like move towards that. And so what I'm saying is, obviously the internet has so many ways to make money online, but what I've found is actually selling products on Amazon is one of the relatively easiest and most frequent ways that I've seen and met digital nomads doing to make a real consistent income that's relatively very passive and they can do from anywhere. I've just found selling on Amazon, I mean, kind of obvious because half of shit bought in America is on Amazon, so it just kind of makes sense. You know, it's just selling on Amazon is just like selling online, and the other half is like, you know, Shopify. So 50-50, whatever. And so you gotta build this little, Tim Ferriss calls it a muse, find your niche. You know, it could be a website where you offer, you know, your own products on your website, whatever. Find your little niche in the internet, create a little product that can be bought 24/7 and have that take care of your income. So now you can get your time back. You don't need to go to work every day. It's sucking up all your time. And now you're free to step back and say, okay, what do I really want to do with my life? What do I really want to spend my time doing? And just think back like, if money were no issue, if I was getting a check deposited into my bank account every month, let's just say, you know, 10K a month, you know, you're making 100K a year. What would I do with my day? That is fascinating, you know. And like most people never have that like deep meditation. And like I have a podcast thinking about this, and this is the exercise I went through when I started getting into Tim Ferriss and 4-hour work week around 2013, 2014. And I'm sure many of you guys watching, and 4-hour work week just opens up the mind for so many people because it asks the questions that I'm asking now. If your income was taken care of, what would you do with your time? And it's like, oh shit. And oh shit, the internet makes this more possible than ever. And there's thousands, millions of folks now that make their income through an internet business, and oh my God, that automates everything. So they barely have to put any time into it. And now they can go live their dream basically. And, you know, with Tim Ferriss, he was, you know, living in other countries, and, you know, a lot of people have the travel bug. So it means you can go live in other countries like you and I, you know, people that have the travel bug, it's so many of us, so many of this millennial generation, and every generation has dreams to travel the world. And so, yeah, the big picture is do what you want. And for a lot of people, you know, we don't necessarily know yet. And for a lot of people, it evolves. But, you know, trying to figure out what we want to do with our life. And it's not an easy question. You know, some people it's easier to figure out than others. For example, my younger brother, who came out to visit again in January, came to the Nomad Summit. He makes $150K a year selling on Amazon. And he's out here. He's like, yeah, he's like, he has no job, obviously. He's self-sufficient. Why does he have no job? Because he doesn't fucking need one. Because he has income coming in on Amazon. People only get jobs for money. You know, I think it's a small percentage of people, like, they're employed because they're actually, like, that's their passion, which that's, you know, that's possible for sure. Not all jobs are bad,
and all the power to that. But if you have the entrepreneurial, like, spirit, DNA, it's deep in your gut, you know you have to do something different. Yeah, and a lot of people, you know, most people that follow you and I, they already have that. You know, they want to be. We all have that moment where it's like, oh, I don't want to work for someone ever. That just doesn't ever again. That just doesn't click with me. And so my little brother was telling me, he's like, yeah, I've been going through like a little phase. I gotta like figure out like what I like doing, how I like spending my time. Cause he spends like not that many hours a week, you know, managing his Amazon store. And so I was like, yeah, that's a good problem to have. You know, he's got all this time on his hands and he's trying to figure out how to fill it in. But at least that's the first step. Most people never get to that point because they can't even start to think about how to fill in their time, because on Monday there's the job, and it's like, yeah, you know, the typical thing. People say on their deathbed, like old folks on their deathbed, like most of your life is spent like on work. And it's like, wow, you know, I hope that you're doing something that you love, because let's say work is like, you know, 50% of your life like spent at work. And if you're not like, you know, spending that how you want, like, whoa, that's a big philosophical question to ask. And so, yeah, internet, hello, replace your income, start, you know, thinking about your dream job and your dream business, you know, and move forward with that. But you got to start somewhere. And these little online businesses that are so relatively like quick to start, like let's freaking flip some products online. Like it's basic. This private label Amazon method is basically just fucking garage sale, but like from China. You fucking buy boxes of fucking shit and fucking flip it in mass, and it's got your logo on it, so you can control the price and like you create your own brand, and you're also building a brand at the same time. So you can sell that brand 2 to 3, 5 years down the future and sell it for a 6-7 figure payday, which we know many people who have done that. And so, of course, these little online businesses are, compared to traditional businesses, they're just so relatively quick and easy. It's like, come on, we have it easier than ever. The main thing is, and then I'm going to ask you about your 90-day challenge. The main thing is realizing that there's already a system set up with Amazon. Because trust me on this, anyone who's watching who has not like on their first online business, if you start doing everything, it's really freaking hard. But if you start with mentorship and system that's already working that you can plug into, so you're not like creating your own website, creating your own this, creating your own that, it just makes it a lot simpler to start with. Then from there, once you learn a lot of this stuff, because you're not putting all your time into learning all the tedious things, then you can start to branch out. but like keep it simple at first, 100%. And it's not about like becoming like rich tomorrow. It's about learning. This is a long-term skill, but this is also a process with something like this where 3 to 6 months you're already generating income. And I'm not doing Amazon right now because I have other things, but for my friends who are all doing it, I'm like, that's where I would start. That's why I'm, you know, introducing people to you. So, brother, tell me about the 90-day challenge and how people can get started in that.
Well, let's have, basically what it is, you know, I've had my Amazon course since 2016. What I've been working on during lockdown is compressing the whole private label business model into a 90-day calendar. So I've made this whole calendar. It's actually in an interactive project management dashboard. It's called Notion. It's pretty dope. So I just compressed everything that you should do into a 90-day calendar with based on 5 days a week for 4 to 5 hours a day. And so it's like, here's what you do. You set up your account, check mark, check mark, check mark. Here's how to do this, blah, 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 blah. Here's day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, day 5. And after each week, there's a milestone and homework assignment. And so I've just been putting this together during lockdown for the past 2 months, compressing the whole course into a 90-day, easy to follow thing. So it's that. And then obviously it's my video course I've updated for 2020. So tutorial videos on obviously all the ins and outs and procedures, detailed procedures and stuff. And then it's a weekly mastermind. Yeah, so a weekly mastermind where it's myself and other experts that I'm going to be partnering with to answer your questions. If you're stuck, you know, you get answers, coach you guys on the current steps. So it's going to be like a wave of every 90 days. So everyone's going to be on week 1, week 2, week 3 together. Yeah, so it's a weekly mastermind, myself, other FBA experts coaching you on, you know, your current what you're going through. Obviously, the first month is product research and product development. And second month is ordering samples and sourcing. And then third month is launching out on Amazon. So people have gone from 0 idea to live on Amazon in 90 days. I would consider that definitely a fast timeline, but it can be done. And so basically everyone who's been thinking about, one day I want to maybe get into Amazon, you know, make some money on Amazon. It's like, it's basically your excuse. Like, we're going to be doing this together as a group for 90 days. And yeah, that's basically it. Facebook group, obviously a group chat. So you can answer me questions if you get stuck every day. And yeah, just been taking notes from you and trying to put together the best, you know, fucking business school.
Hell yeah, man. No, man, I respect that because you've been doing it yourself for so long. You've helped a lot of people just trying to do whatever you can, and their businesses have exploded on Amazon too. So I just want to give people the opportunity to work with you who are interested in actually doing Amazon. There's all sorts of different models. I just feel like something like Amazon it's so proven. It's so much simpler to get started. It's not like these other business models where you have to learn everything. So I think for people to get started, it's so necessary to learn online skills. So might as well start with something that already has a proven system behind it. That's how I look at it. And then work with people who are like really good at it. I know you are, man. I've also like advised on some branding and stuff in the past, and I've seen behind the scenes and what you guys do, and it's really, really freaking good what you do. And you really understand this game. So guys, do this. If you're looking to get into Amazon, DM Riley and see how you can get involved in this 90-day challenge. I think you're starting right away, and then you're doing another one like later on after. But if you're really looking to get started now, DM Riley right away.
Yeah, it's kind of last minute. Like, you know, this is our first run, and we're gonna get started on the 1st, on May 1st. So there's only 2 more days to sign up. Yeah, so we've been putting it together. It's finally ready to go. So yeah, 2 days to sign up, and then yeah, it's gonna be a wave of 90, and then after 90 days, we'll open it up again. And cool. To answer some of the most common questions I've gotten, it's like, what I would have been saying was, if you want to be selling on Amazon sometime soon, should I think about selling that hand sanitizer? Should I get into selling the face covers? Should I get into selling the phone cleaners? And no, I don't recommend doing some little Corona related thing. I recommend thinking about what is going to still be selling Christmas 2020 and Christmas 2021. So we're not doing this to like get into sell medical supplies and shit. It's the same model. What makes my method different than a lot of Amazon videos out there is my key to success is coming out with a unique product, not just throwing up a copycat of something else and trying to like also get sales. You got to develop your product and you got to have a good idea. Like most businesses are founded on a good idea. So same thing with Amazon. You can't just like throw, crappy shit at the wall. You got to develop your product. You got to have it really high quality so it gets solid, good reviews. But if you come out with a great product, it does what it says, it's unique, it's going to accumulate those 5-star reviews, it's going to keep that page 1 ranking, and it's going to keep raking in the cash flow for years to come. Our first successful product has been selling for 5 years now. 5 years. And yep, if you can come out with a killer product, and Parker and I do 0 hours of work a week on that product.
With that product.
It's just a cash flow asset. It's just a freaking cash flow asset. But the key is your product development, really doing the market research to find that niche. And ideally it's uptrending. And really, really brainstorming and coming up with a unique idea that you can position yourself in, adding some unique functional features to launch that unique killer product. And that's the same thing I've been preaching since my course launched in 2016. It's like differentiation, differentiation, differentiation. Niche within a niche, niche within a niche, within a niche. Small niches. And the riches, they say, are in the niches. But I would say, bitches, the riches are in the niches within the niches. And then you get the bitches.
Yeah, man, but it's funny because it's hard for our brains as human beings to wrap around like the concept of like clicking a button and your product being seen in front of like thousands of people, or like 1,000 people all to be able to buy at the same time. Because you go to a store, there's lineups. It's like location dependent. And now with Amazon, anyone from anywhere in the world can be buying, right? So it changes the whole game. And this is a hard thing to understand, that a tiny niche within a niche can still have millions of buyers from all around the world. The example I used to give with like just understanding the internet is like, imagine you used to be a stamp collector back in the day. It's like you're not going to have really any friends in your neighborhood or stamp collectors, so you're kind of a weirdo. Now you just go online and you look for stamp collector groups and you have like 1 million best friends on this forum, and everyone's like loving collecting stamps. So it's just a whole different way of seeing the world. A niche within a niche is still it can still be a very big business. So that's like, when someone hears that, sometimes they think it's going to be a small little business. Like, no, if you just had 0.0001% of what Amazon was making, you're still a millionaire, right? It's insane.
Yeah. Oh man, like even stamps is a great example. So stamps is the niche, is a great example. But there's even niches there's niches within the stamp niche, and then there's niches within those niches. So like stamps, and then there's old stamps from Thailand. I was actually just in a museum recently looking at these old stamps. They're so dope. And then there's old stamps from Thailand that are, have Thai dancers on them. That's a sub niche. And then old stamps from Thailand, it's like old Thai sports. And like someone's always into these little weird things. And then like old, sports, and then you go down to like old Thai stamps that are, soccer related. Like someone wants to buy that, So it's like, crazy, it just goes so deep.
100%, man. So man, thanks for hopping on this live. I appreciate it. I just wanted I'm going to be trying to, make sure that anyone who's been following me, following you, they understand that, you have something like this. So you have like an outlet if someone is looking to actually learn Amazon and do it in a way that's not, kind of random over a couple of years. It's like 90-day challenge. Put some things aside. People have time right now, especially if you have any bit of savings. It's like start putting that towards to developing yourself. Self-education. It's the most important time in history to start self-educating. We're in the great adaptation right now, with the great transition. This is not going away. It's going to keep transitioning. So if Amazon was the thing that you were thinking about doing and you want a good mentor, hit up Riley and start to like make this next 90 days like a hardcore, like I'm going to do this no matter what kind of thing. So thanks a lot, brother. We will talk to you very soon. And for anyone else, just reach out to Riley, hit him up and see if you can get part of his group before it shuts down. We're starting on the 1st. And you brought up a good point about if you have savings, because it does take at least 2 to 3 grand to invest in your inventory and your business setup fees. So if you got no money, it's not a business for you. You do need to invest money in inventory for this business model. But it's a great business project. Man, people used to invest 500 grand into their, into their franchises and everything. The amount of risk that used to be in business. 3 grand to start a business. What the fuck, right? Exactly. We didn't even get to that. Like compared to buying a Subway or like, oh my God, like we have it. It goes back to what we were. It's easier than ever for us to start these little like things. Like my little brother got started with $1,500. That's a little bit of an outlier with that amount. My mom got started with $800 actually, but I say at least 2 to 3K. But now my brother, 4 years later, makes 150K from an initial investment of $1,500. So it's like we have it easier than ever. There's no excuse. And I have this whole, Amazon interested audience, and doing a 90-day challenge was the most logical, best possible thing I could think of. So we're starting it soon. Love it, brother. I love how you're finally freaking really going to be pushing this out, because you've done so much for yourself and your friends and everyone for so long. And you've been living this type of life for so long. Now it's time to really give back in the biggest way you can. So appreciate that.
Yeah, this is it.
Awesome.
Yeah, appreciate you, brother.
We'll see you soon. Peace, dog.
Yeah, boom. Yeah, see you in Bali probably in a couple months.
Living that life. We just living that life. Talking plus, living that life. We just living that life. You're listening to the Living That Life Digital Nomad Podcast. Hit the subscribe button on iTunes if you're a boss, and check out the YouTube channel for dope travel videos. Let's get it.